Okay, in the previous video, we left off where we had this canvas. We introduced the pose component, the stage, the robot, and the workspace. So now we're going to connect to our machine, and we're actually going to send it live commands. Let's go ahead and click Egret, and we'll go to the live component tab here. Let's bring in connect, and we'll go ahead and bring in a few more. Let's go ahead and bring in enable, and one more called home. And we'll go through these three components. So to talk to our robot, we need to know its IP address. If you're using the UFactory website, it's going to be whatever this address is. The 192.168.1.159. That is my IP address to my robot. I doubt it's the same for you. Maybe it is. But let's go ahead and type that into the IP. By default, mine is that address because I made it. So mine's already the 159 address. What this component is a Python script that runs in the background. It bridges the Grasshopper canvas with the UFactory SDK. You don't need to install anything. It comes with Egret. It auto starts with Egret. You don't need to do anything. So yeah, everything else is fine by default. Maybe you want to turn auto mode off. That is for super advanced users who have their own custom bridge outside the scope of 99% of the users that use Egret. But let's go ahead and start connecting up our robot to these components, and then we'll move it home. And then we'll drag it around. Okay. So everything else should be good. We are only going to change the values for enable and move. Let's go ahead and just bring in a couple toggles. I'll just bring in 4 just in case. So what we want to do is we want to send the connection data into this component called enable. What enable does is kind of a safety check to make sure, hey, I am ready to move the machine. There's nothing around. I'm not going to crash anything. It's just kind of a sanity check before you go. So we're going to make that a toggle. So hit all good, click go. And then once we're connected, we're going to send our connection to the home component. Let's go ahead and drag this toggle to on. We'll drag one more into auto. I'm sorry. We're going to drag it into move. Disconnect from auto. I'll explain what that is in a moment. And then we're going to go, we'll leave this one here. And let's put a button. If you mouse over the go, it's just telling you that when this is true, commands will be sent. I left it as a button. I'll show you in a minute why. Let's bring in a couple panels. You don't need the panels, but it's just a nice way of getting some kind of diagnostics. So we're all hooked up. Let's go ahead and hit true. All right, I connected to the bridge. It's connected to my robot. We can drag our panel into here, and they're just kind of diagnostics. Cool. We're connected. And then I have this enable. Let's go ahead and say, yep, we're all clear. Nothing's around. And you'll notice we get an error. It says the bridge is an only read mode state. This is another kind of safety check that the robot has, is we need to say, hey, robot, I want you to be ready to accept commands. And how do we do that? Well, we got to set the state to allow movements. Let's switch that to true. And you can see our error goes away. I'm gonna reset connection. Cool. Just kind of a habit of mine. You don't need to. Okay. We reset to say, hey, we're enabling, we're connecting. It's in connection mode, so we're good to go. You'll see that the machine is in idle status. My robot is out of home position. So if I hit home, if I hold it, you can hear it, and it says homing, and my robot is at home. Alternatively, you could use it, you could see it inside the UFactory web view that it's also at home. Okay, so it's at home, but now we can start moving it. So let's go ahead and move it for the first time using our bridge, and we'll have to set up a few more things. The first thing is Grasshopper has no idea where it is in 3D space. Yeah, it sent it home, it sent it to command, but the robot is not communicating back. We need to listen to where it is. So let's go to our live section and click live state. You can see that it has an error right away. That's fine. But we're going to put a panel in here. Oops. And we still have a connection, but we want to start polling the robot quite often. We want to go, hey robot, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? So we need to bring in a component from Rhino, or Grasshopper, I'm sorry. I always have trouble finding it, called trigger. I think this came out in Rhino 8. I believe you may be able to get it for Rhino 7 as well, through package manager or something. Pretty sure there's a way to do it with Rhino 7. I forgot how. Let's go ahead and sample our robot every 100 milliseconds. Cool. And now you see we have some live data. Right now our joints are all 0, which makes sense because we just homed the machine. So all of our joints are at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You'll notice we have a T output. If you notice up here, our pose also has a T output. That's all of our target list of where we want to go. So if I want to display this pose, I can bring in another stage, bring our T into the T, and remember we have our, by default, our URDF model here. We can change that to the real view, clicking true, and now we have the physical model. It's a little confusing because now we're displaying two different versions of the machine, two different states. We have its simulated view and the real view. We can hide this by turning the preview off. And now let's try jogging the machine with these commands. We'll go back to Egret. I'm going to go live and I'm going to do Live-Jog. You'll notice I have 4 inputs, 1 C, so we need to drag our connection over. We need a target list, and we also need to use another enable. Again, we're all about safety at the moment. I'm going to use another button because if we have a pretty extreme pose starting from 0, it may whip around and it's just, let's just be safe than sorry. So if we use a button, it's only going to move when we're holding it down. Again, this is just a Boolean toggle. Maybe you get advanced enough and you're secure with your setup, you can just drop a true in there and it'll just whip to that position. Okay, so now we need to feed this a target. Let's go feed the target from our pose. So you saw I just held that position. The simulation went to that position, and my robot went there too. So if I want to do some live movements, I'm going to rotate J1 just because I know the envelope is safe. Of course it's not working. Why? Oh, because I have the button here. I'm going to turn just the toggle to true. And now it's always going to move when I move this. Let's see if I can bring this into the video. I think it's going to minimize. Yeah. But I will bring up my camera. Again, it's going to be this fighting. So that's what the pose is now. If I just make an extreme change in J1, you can see my robot is the same as the pose over here. Same there. And it does also emulate itself here as well. You notice I have a gripper installed. We haven't worked with the grippers yet, but you will notice that the TCP, the tool center position, is right down here for the vacuum. We won't touch on that till later. But yeah, I'm going to stop the video here and I will also save this GH file and upload it to the video as well, so you can kind of reverse engineer what this is and rewatch the video and build it yourself.